What do you think about when you play?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of answers that I could give you to that. I think mostly we think about listening to each other when we play and making a conversation, so that when one person plays something, it inspires somebody else to play what they play, and that's the essence of improvisation. That's the essence of jazz music.
That's great. When you play softly in piano dynamics, you've got very nice and smooth sound, and I could notice that on tonight's concert. And it's also very distinguishable. How do you do it?
Well, there's a technical answer and there's a musical answer. Technically, you practice. You just you work on being comfortable with your instrument so that you can play what you feel. The musical answer really is similar. I mean, it's when you feel like speaking to somebody quietly, you do that. When you feel like being aggressive and really stating your point loudly and firmly, then you do that too. But you do it through music.
It's all about emotions.
It's about emotion.
That's great. So, in order to achieve that, like you said, from the technical point of view, you got to practice a lot. Could you say in few words what was and what is your practice routine?
Well, in general, it varies, because sometimes I'm at home in Los Angeles and I record studio music, and I play different instruments, and so I'm concentrating more on that music or those instruments. I'm playing a little bit, differently, and flute and clarinet and other things, kind of. Then when I'm getting ready for a gig like this tour here, I'm thinking about what steps to take, to prepare my playing for this. But in general, it's kind of like being athletic. You have to, stay in shape and go out and just like an athlete would exercise. We have to exercise too, but we want to also do that in a musical way, so that every time you perform, you feel like you're at your best.
That's great. There were many musicians, especially from the academy tonight, and there were, I noticed few because I knew few saxophone players, and I saw on your website that you also give online lessons. Could you tell a bit more on how to get kind of lesson, because it's not very popular here in Poland yet, and I'm sure that many of the young students, they would like to try to have a lesson with a person like you. So could you explain what can happen?
Well, an online lesson is the next best thing to being there in person. And so basically you get in front of your computer. Hopefully you have a camera. You need to have a camera on your computer, and an internet connection, and either have Skype or iChat, and then I send the student some music in advance and some MP3 tracks to play with, and we each wear headphones so we can hear each other clearly. And at first I didn't know if it would work, but I had so many requests for that around the world, frankly, that I started doing it, and I do them quite often, and it's really working. I mean, again, it's not quite like being in the same room together, but it works pretty darn well.
It can inspire probably a lot.
Well, we certainly, I can certainly tell what what a student might need to be working on, and I can give them, a lot of material and instruction as to, what they can do, hopefully, to improve.
So you're a very busy person. I also saw on your website yesterday that your tour schedule is pretty busy. What do you do when you're off the stage, where you've got free time, when you're not playing?
Well, right now there's not a lot of free time. I mean, between trying to get to the next city each day and preparing for the concert, it means you have to, you have to arrive in the city, get in the hotel, try to get something to eat, get to the theater, have a sound check, get ready, perform, and then by the end of the day, you're pretty beat up and you want to get back to the hotel and start over again. This is our last concert here in Poland. I have a recording session tomorrow, and then I leave for Russia for 2 weeks, and I started a 2-week tour in Russia before then I go home and tour some in the US and go from there.
Coming back to Poland again in November?
In Poland, maybe in December. It's up in the air. I come back to Europe for a month with Jeff Lorber in November and December. I know I'm coming back here to Katowice though in April to do a workshop and a performance as well.
Could you tell, I mean, it's going to be a pretty crazy question, or maybe not, who would you be if music would not exist? Crazy.
Well, it's hard to say. I've been playing music since I was 9 years old, since I was a kid. I played in junior high school, but in high school I played in college, I played in, conservatory. Yeah,
probably that's the one thing too hard to imagine.
It really is. It's really, yeah. I mean, it really is hard to imagine. I don't know. Music. I have a family. I have 2 great grown kids and a beautiful wife and everything. But it's funny. Somebody asked me recently what my hobby is, and frankly, hobby is my music. My business and my family are what's important, but my hobby is music.
That's great. Are you planning to record some new CD?
Yes, I finished this round of touring around Christmas, and then I'm planning on being in the studio in January and into February and record my new record.
Could you tell, if it's not a secret, who might be invited to the sessions, or we can leave it?
Well, it's a secret to me too. I don't even know yet. Actually, I'm actually writing the music now, and that's a bit of a challenge too. It's hard to write music on the road. Sometimes it's not actually. Sometimes it's really great to write music on the road because you're separated from your normal day-to-day, things, and you're playing a lot and you're around musicians and your surroundings are new and interesting, and I've written a lot of music, in a hotel or on an airplane or whatever. So we'll see. Hopefully on this tour, I'll be able to come up with some new things.
Great. I've got last question for you. If you're here, you're probably tired. You had hundreds of different interviews and you answered probably thousands of questions. Is there any question that nobody asked you before and you would like to give an answer for? Or you haven't thought about it?
Well, I have not thought about that. I don't know, I mean, how many hours of sleep do you need every night? That's what I've never really gotten.
How many hours of sleep do you need every night?
Apparently more than I'm getting. I don't know.